Can't even say shut up, Redbeard tonight.
Say
hey
shut
there,
up,
beer
Red Shirt.
drinkers. Welcome back to Beer Analysis 101 here with your host, Maxwell Starr.
We the North. Yeah, Raptors.
Yeah, the Raptors.
I think we're going to win.
Greg is still shouting from his balcony at the top of his lungs because the Raptors have won. Tonight we're going to do something else, actually, that's from Ontario. We'll decide whether it's really a winner tonight. This is Flying Monkey's Sparklepuff. Was it Galaxy Starfighter, Defender of the Universe? But first and foremost, let's go to the panel that we have tonight. And because Toronto won, I'm going to introduce Greg first for the first time ever. How are you doing tonight, Greg?
I'm doing great, even better because I got a free T-shirt today, a couple days late, but still, I still get to wear it, and it's free, so that's the important thing. The Pollock in me is very excited.
You got freebies.
Yeah.
You're one shirt away from Redbeard. Freebie away from no.
I don't know about that.
That's all the freebies right there.
This shirt's 10 out of 10.
All right, and the other person who I'm sure got some freebies by having them left over after the well and piss up at his place. We got Mr. Ashley Sexton tonight. How you doing tonight, sir?
Doing great, thank you. But I'm more concerned. How did you score a free T-shirt?
After that.
My boss had a whole shit ton of them. She gave around to the office. But I made a joke about the Raptors being a hockey game, so she got a hockey team, so she got offended.
Rightfully so.
Because she doesn't understand sarcasm that well, so she told me I wasn't entitled to a T-shirt. And that was last week. Then today she's like, "Oh, I meant to give you this," and gave me this T-shirt. I was like, "Oh, well, great. I'll cheer for them next season."
There you go. You're ready for next year. There you go.
She just gave it to you out of spite, kind of at the end.
I think it was probably just like, there you go. Now you don't care. I'm like, I don't care. I still got this T-shirt.
Okay, I gotta check something out, but I'll look at it later. Okay, so moving right along, let's go over to the short history for Flying Monkeys tonight, because we've already taken a look at Flying Monkeys previously on this, but since we've looked at them before, won't go into too much detail. Let's say that the brewery started as the Robert Simpson Brewing Co. in 2005, opened in Barrie, Ontario, by Peter Chiodo and his wife Andrea. They changed the name in late 2008 to the more interesting Flying Monkeys name, which was a successful move for the brewery. Over the years, they have become well known for their IPAs and other creative styles of beer produced. Of course, other beers from Flying Monkey include Optical Illusion Pale Ale, Smash Bomb Atomic IPA, 12 Minutes of Destiny Hibiscus Pale Ale, Live Transmission Milkshake IPA, Anti-Gravity Lager, Aurora Heart Chocolate Raspberry Stout, and many more. So, Sparklepuff Galaxy Starfighter was released on February 4th, 2019. It is a 10.2% ABV, 37 IBU, triple IPA brewed with peaches, as well as triple dry hopped. I tried reaching out to comments to them to find out what hops they used in this, and there was absolutely no response from whatsoever. So
rude.
Rude. How rude. All right, so move over to the comments quickly, which there are barely any over there.
Well, we got Joe Ganzel in the chat. Hello, Joe Ganzel. I'm sure because this is Flying Monkeys, I'm sure Eric Gilbert will be showing up momentarily to poke fun at me.
Can we refer to him as the better Joe now? I feel he is the better Joe.
We can call him wait, who? Joe Ganzel?
Yeah, I feel he's the better Joe.
I was just talking about Eric Gilbert.
No, I'm talking Joe Ganzel. I believe Joe Ganzel said he wears uniforms, so that automatically makes him better. I mean, he could be a murderer or otherwise. I don't care. He's wearing a uniform. He's a good guy.
To give him that moniker so soon, I mean, I don't know how long he's been watching the show for. I mean, I've seen his name pop up a few times, but I don't know if he's really earned that nickname.
I don't know. Yeah, well, here's the thing. I feel like, while I do agree that Joe Ganzel is a great guy, I mean, you're comparing him to Joe Thomas. We don't know yet if he is better. I mean, Greg may think so because of the lack of the uniform, but some people don't take uniforms into consideration because Joe's name isn't referencing the police. He's referencing being a troll. So at least that's Joe's poor.
Listen, I have a question for you. You date a girl for 10 years, you break up, you hook up with a new girl. The next morning, who are you remembering? The new girl or the girl of 10 years? The new girl. She's new. She's better. Therefore, this guy's new. He's also better. That's logic for you.
Holy mother!
Congratulations, better Joe.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Moving right along, Greg. Shut up for a second and then tell us what your history with Sparklepuff is.
I haven't been talking for the last 10 seconds. I don't know. This is probably my 8th one I've drank. I don't know. I quite like this beer. It's quite good. It's a lot of alcohol, which is always good, and it's quite tasty. Although perhaps we might go into that there perhaps some batch variation to it.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of history with Flying Monkeys. I've tried a whole shit ton of their beers, but I don't have Untapped up now, so I don't know how many.
All right. And Mr. Ashley, what's your history with Sparklepuff?
Well, Le Sparklepuff. You know what? I'll be honest. This has been on the market for 5-6 months now, something like that, at least in Ontario. So I've probably purchased like a fair share of these, probably about a dozen or so. It's not something I buy multiples of. If I'm at the LCBO and it's around, I'll probably grab one because I think it's well worth the $5. But yeah, I've had a fair share of these. As for Flying Monkeys itself, I mean, pretty much anything that hits the LCBO I've had. I've never made my way out to Barrie to visit the brewery or anything like that. But as for the brewery itself, I've enjoyed the majority of the things that they've released, and yeah, that's my history.
Right on. All right. As for my personal history with this, I won't go too much detail with Flying Monkeys itself because I mean I've had Flying Monkeys beers probably dating back all the way to 2011 or 2012 when I think Chad sent me the first one was like Cascadian Dark Ale, the Neverworld or something. What is it, Netherworld?
Nether Realm, I thought.
Netherworld,
something like that.
Anyway, Sparklepuff, on the other hand, like you guys keep talking about Sparklepuff and like ever since it came out, like you guys drink a lot of the stuff up there. Me, on the other hand, I didn't get a chance to try it until I was up for the Well and Piss Up. This can specifically I bought at the same time I got my first can, which is the one we drank at the Shit Bucket Manor, which I uploaded the review of last week. And so I'm pretty sure this is the same age. What is everybody's canning date anyway? Mine's April 18th.
Mine is May 24th. Mine is pretty fresh.
April 29th.
So yeah, mine's like a week older than Greg's.
That's right.
All right, so I get the oldest, but really, I mean, it's still less than 2 months old. It's not bad considering.
It's quite reasonable.
Considering I got it in North Bay. All right, I might read the can.
That one started in North Bay.
Yeah, I got bought 2 cans when I was in North Bay, and one of them ended up coming home with me. So I might as well read the can here because just to make conversation. Exploring realms of deep, dank space with the rule of 3 in its DNA, Sparklepuff launches with a payload of smashed summer peaches and cushions of fierce malty fluff behind a force field of tops. 3 times dry hopped, triple the hop flavor, and thrice the aroma. This 10.2% ABV beer is of this unfiltered adventure glimmers with the epic glorious Sparklepuff, Galaxy Starfighter, Defender of the Universe. Brewed by Canada by Barrie, Flying Monkeys, blah, blah, blah. It's got a bunch of U.S. stuff, I guess. All right. So do we have any more commentaries? I see we do have a bunch, actually. And Eric Gilbert is here on cue.
Yeah, Eric jumped in. Don't know if he heard us slander his name terribly. He'll just have to rewatch it later.
It's more like mentioning his name, like Beetlejuice or something.
No, we were just
Eric Gilbert.
And yeah, just a bunch of cheers going on. I made mention of him that we're drinking from his favorite brewery. And he was saying the Sparklepuff he had was 6 days old. Now, how long ago is that, Eric? Or are you drinking it right now? Or did you only get it once? I don't know. Oh, the Sparklepuff. I don't know. I don't know. He obviously had it. And now he's like finger typing it. Yeah. That's what we have for chat.
Trying to see if I can bring up a photo of Now, before we go further with this, one of the things that I remember about this beer specifically is that it was often talked about how that, like, it's not so much batch variation with this beer. It's more like where did your can get poured off from the vat, from the fermenter, because a lot of people have been complaining about sparkle chunks. Mine's got like sand in it almost. Sediment.
Well, unfortunately, I don't know if anyone wants to play back this video. You probably don't. But if you actually look at what I was drinking a few minutes ago, This was actually fairly clear. This is the bottom of the can I just poured out, so all my shit settled to the bottom, and now it's a snow globe.
So I know when I first did the review of this, I sort of talked about that, like how there people were at the very beginning were saying that they had this beer and it was more or less clear, there was no chunks in it, and
Yep.
I sort of came up with what I sort of could have assumed was the best explanation as to why that was. But that was like 3 months ago, and ever since then I have not poured myself, nor have I seen on any sort of social media any other pouring of Sparklepuff that looks even remotely clear whatsoever, or without the sparkle chunks as they've come to have been known as. So I don't know. I think what we're seeing right now is just sort of an extension of them just running with the. I think they're just having fun with it at this point. People kept on complaining about the chunks. They just kept on rolling them out because why not? It's any publicity is good publicity, right? So, I mean,
yeah.
Since then though, I mean, since a certain some influencers on Instagram and whatnot were complaining that there was this huge batch variation. Ever since that, like from Sparklepuff 1 to Sparklepuff 12, I've had now, they've all been the same. And we're talking multiple batches, multiple cannings of it.
Instagram influencers on craft
yeah,
beer.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Where's my free?
And besides, when you think about it, when you take a beer that's unfiltered and triple dry hopped, you're gonna expect a lot of shit at the bottom of those. I mean, seriously, they got a lot of the sediment in the beer, and there's probably a lot of particulate suspended even when they pour it off, so it's gonna settle. There's gonna be some settling.
Well, and they could filter the hell out of it, and then craft beer enthusiasts would be like, "Oh, well, now it's not as good. You've censored our beer."
Yeah. So,
it's something that does call itself a triple IPA, so it's like triple New England style, so it's intense. But are we ready to give some final thoughts? Or?
Yeah, I'll start ripping into this.
Okay, but Greg's first.
Yeah, Greg can go first.
Oh, I want Ashley Sexton to go first, so I can
Okay.
copy
You
what
go.
he says.
No, don't. Just go. The stage is yours, my friend.
Okay,
we're actually letting you talk first. That never happens.
All right. Well, I like triple IPAs, if that's even a style. I like really chewy, chunky IPAs that are just very, very thick and juicy and delicious. I don't even know why I said juicy, because it isn't even necessarily that juicy. This is really good. I think the first time I gave it a perfect 5 out of 5. I don't feel quite that highly about it now. I don't know if it's batch variation. I don't know if it's my own palate. I don't know what it is. It might have to do with having Chimera a few times before that. The beer by Cayman Kettle. I feel that beer was absolutely phenomenal. I don't know what I gave it in the review, like a 9.5 or a 10, but I've had a bunch of crowlers of that since then.
Like a 9 or 9.5.
Yeah, that's so good. I do feel it's better than this, and unfortunately, because I view them as the same style, even though this has a 1.5% or 1.2% of alcohol over this, I don't feel quite as strongly about this as I once did. Also, to me, this feels like boozier than I remember it, which, I mean, I guess for 10.2% you'd expect that, but I don't remember it being boozy the first time I had it. I get it a little bit now. It's still really good, though. It's still kind of what you'd expect. It's just a really, really strong, flavorful. I'm going to say, would you say this is like like sort of an East Coast, or like, I almost get a New England IPA, like a super, super strong New England IPA vibe off of this.
I'm getting the New England kind of thing off of this.
Yeah, like
it's not intensely bitter at all.
Yeah, like that's kind of what I'm getting. Just like if you really, really, really strong New England IPA, like I am getting that juiciness that's just kind of taken over by the strongness. So I mean, in terms of style, I mean, how many triple IPAs have I had? Maybe 5 in my entire life. I don't think I've had that many. It's good. I mean, it's good. I mean, I'm gonna probably give it a solid 8 for a triple IPA. I don't think it's bad. I have had better, but I really haven't had enough to really play the field yet. It's like going back to the girl analogy. If you've only been with 2 girls, how do you know if the second one's that good? I don't know. Um, 8.5 for overall.
Okay. And what'd you see out of the style?
An 8.
8. Right on. All right, let's move over to Mr. Ash.
Cool.
Go.
So yeah, I mean, I've had this as I mentioned, probably about a dozen times or so. I've enjoyed it every time. If I'm speaking to batch variation, I'm not speaking to the appearance because again, for me, it's always been the exact same. I have noticed from one batch from one can I've had to the next. In the next, I get varying levels of like noticeable hop burn or alcohol burn. I've had varying levels of like hops being like super green, like the hop presence being a little bit more vegetal than some of the other times, and sometimes it's a little bit more smoother than others. So they could just be when I got the can, how old the can, blah blah blah. This version, so I'm just going to speak to this version I have right in front of me, and not anecdotally about all the other ones I've had. This one, on the nose, it's just a big punch of peach, sweet, overripe peach, some like muddled, generic like tropical fruits, maybe some passion fruit. I wouldn't say mango or pineapple or anything like that, but it definitely a little bit more on the sweeter side of things, more than tart aromas, whatever. This one right here, the bittering, yeah, as you mentioned, Greg, it's very softly bittered, and yeah, it's deadly because my palate's not getting fatigued drinking this. If it was a little too bitter, then I wouldn't be going sip after sip after sip. But this one is going down really well. It's got a beautiful body to it. Medium to full bodied, mild carbonation. I can just sip and sip and sip, and then all of a sudden my 10.2% triple IPA is gone. And yeah, that can be a dangerous thing. So, overall, I enjoyed this beer quite a bit. So, much like Greg, I haven't had a tremendous amount of triple IPAs. It's just something that doesn't really come up on the market. I will agree with your assessment, though. Chimera, which was, from Cayman Kettle with Breakwall and Brimstone. That was a great triple IPA as well. They only did one batch, though, so drinking it fresh was a lot better than the crowler I had about later on.
It's probably smaller and more controlled, too.
Yeah, they just did one batch and that was it, right? So I think I'm not here to review that beer, but anyways, for personal, for style, I'm going to give this a solid 8.5. Just because some of the ones I've had in the past, they were a little burny. Some of them were maybe a little bit too green with the hops. So I'm going to say 8.5 for style, but for personal enjoyment, I enjoy this quite a bit. I enjoy this as a one and done for the night. Definitely wouldn't want to drink two back to back, so I'll give this an 8.5 for personal enjoyment.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so my turn. All right, so one of the things that really gets me with this one here, and the reason why I kind of was talking about how it almost strikes me as New England style, is because I'm assuming it's because of the triple dry hopping process and not actually adding it to the boil is it's not that bitter at all. I mean, it's slightly bitter, but it's not as bitter as triple IPA name really thinks you think. This is such easy drinking, smooth and creamy beer that it's pretty much accessible to anyone, even if you're not really big into hoppy beers. It's as far as flavors go, stone fruits galore. I find they come off more as like apricot than peaches, even though they said they what did they say? It's a payload of smashed summer peaches. So they say they got peaches in here, and I get that they probably do, but if this comes off, maybe it's that boozy sweetness that's kind of in the back of this thing that really makes it seem like peaches. But I feel like it's stone fruits, floral pink grapefruit, a little bit of resin, but not too much resin, just a little lick of resin. It's very soft, medium bodied. It is boozy though. Like I do tell that this is like, I can believe that this is 10%, maybe more like 7 or 8. It's definitely got the imperial coming off, but it's not warming or rough or heavy. This is an insanely dangerous beer for what it is, and I get why you guys from Ontario really like this. I will agree with you guys though on the Cayman Kettle Brimstone and Breakwall Chimera that I had a chance to try when I was there. I think I had it twice, once at Brimstone, once at Breakwall, and that beer I remember being really deceptively easy drinking and very, very juicy. And this I do find it a little bit better than this one. But one thing I do notice though, and it might be because of the age of the can, is I don't get any vegetable quality to it. The Barn's gone. So I'm going to give this for both style and overall. I'm going to give it 8 in both categories.
Cool.
See, I do get a vegetal note to mine. I doubt it's the age difference between our cans. It probably just has to do with the batches.
Batch variation. You know what? I might get more of a vegetal note once I start getting into the crud at the bottom of my glass.
Yeah, mine's settling quite nicely.
My bottom of my glass is like, it's almost like toned. Like
it was crazy though, like,
at the bottom.
Right after I poured it, and with the light behind my glass, it was funny. It looked a lot like primary fermentation that happens when you're homebrewing your own beer, where the yeast is just like flowing through the carboy, and you can see it through like the glass, and it's just like super active. But that's the way that these chunks, whatever they may be, whether it's peach pulp or hops or unfiltered yeast, like who knows, but they were just going crazy in that glass. It was awesome. Don't fear the chunks.
Don't fear the sparkle chunks.
Exactly.
Do not fear them.
Going to chat though. So Eric was saying that the Sparklepuff I had was 6 days old, and that was about 4 weeks ago. So there we go. And Joe Gansel recommended that we roll the can. Actually, that was something that they added to their that Flying Monkeys added to their Untapped page on this, was that you should shake the can 15 minutes before opening. So, or you can just roll it right before you open it, and that way you can.
I don't know if I'd want to shake it even 15 minutes before.
Yeah. Well, it that's exactly what it said. Shake the can 15 minutes. So whatever. I did a quick little roll, so that's the way I did it.
Do a beer roll.
And then Basement Beer chimes in with Drunk Pokeroo gave this beer a negative 7,000 out of 10. He was very fired up about it. He was fiery.
Yeah, he's just trying to make a big deal over nothing. I think when it comes to something this heavily dry hopped, you got to expect a few some sediment. Right. I mean, the sediment in some of those glasses that look like absolute chunks. But the thing is, I've seen that and stuff before, and I'm not really offended by that. It's probably just part of beer.
Yeah, they probably just haven't sent him free beer mail in a while, so
that's probably it.
He's getting a little testy.
Anyway.
What? Huh?
Oh.
What?
Oh. Alrighty, so here we go with the scores. Ratings: style 8.17, overall 8.33. Overall, a pretty solid rating for Sparklepuff.
Might even be better than MGD.
It might be. That's actually, I think, better than I was expecting Sparklepuff to do. Yeah. As everybody's a big fan of saying these days, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
All right.
But yeah, you know, I find, you know, in the Ontario market, you know, we just don't see a lot of triple IPAs. So I don't know if it's mostly just brewery only things that, you know, if these breweries are doing triple IPAs, that they're just sort of just keeping it to brewery only. I don't know if like does Trailway out there do like triple IPAs on the regular? And Nick?
Sorry, I said it again. I was reading some.
That's all right. Does Trailway offer triple IPAs on the regular?
You know what? I've never seen a triple IPA from a Trailway, but it's totally something I would anticipate them doing at some point. And they've made lots of like New England style double IPAs, but like the one York keeps talking about that I slipped him in his cooler was the snuck it in from behind when he wasn't looking.
Ooh.
At the Shitbucket Manor. It was the Trailway Voyager. It was like their double IPA hopped with Galaxy. He really loved it, and he actually told me he's told me that on 2 occasions now. But yeah, it's something I totally see Trailway doing at some point, and I hope I do see them actually doing it. And if I do see it, I will pick some up.
I mean, the other ones I had, like I think GLB did 2 different, and I can't remember the name of them. They did 2 different beers, the same name but 2 different variations. They switched up the recipe, and I had one from Flying Monkeys way back in the day at a beer fest.
Yeah.
It was called like Dragon Slayer or something along those lines. I can't even find it on Untapped. It was a really small one-off batch.
Probably just pilot batch then.
I think so. And then that one, I mean, granted, that was way back at the beginning of my beer journey. That one, more than anything, I felt like I was chewing the beer.
Yeah.
But that was like so early in the days of me drinking beer that I can't really be a reliable witness at that point. And then there's this, and I don't know. I can't think of any other triple IPAs. Oh, Chimera, of course. So, I mean, I can only think of 5 I've ever had in my life that would be classified as triple, which I guess a triple, is just calling an IPA, a double IPA, it's over 9.95%. A triple, like, I don't know how else you classify it. Is there a certain method that you put in triple the amount of hops?
Is there even a BJCP recognized? Fuck BJCP, people saying.
I don't know.
But I don't know is there a real recognized style for triple IPA?
I've never looked at that to see how the classifications work for IPAs. They may just lump it in as an Imperial IPA.
Even then, is like even New England style double IPA is truly a style. It's just it's kind of like something they'll mash up with the New England style, like the not very bitter, juicy, hazy beer, but it's made to double intensity like a double IPA. I mean, I can imagine that becoming a style or being like a sub style or something like that. But I mean, I'm not even sure if this is really you really call that a style yet. But that's how styles are born. They come up with this.
I mean, have they even classified a black IPA as a style yet? Because I know for many years they didn't.
I'm pretty sure black IPA is a style now.
Yeah, black. It very well might be, but
beer judge certification for black IPA.
Oh, there you go. Okay, because it wasn't for a long while. Like probably going back at least 3 years, it wasn't a style.
Specialty IPA. So yeah, they're just lumping a lot of those misfits into one category.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm guessing they kind of can class it as a subcategory of Imperial IPA.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Imperial
or double IPA. Yeah. I mean, that's what
it's here.
But yeah,
a few more comments
black
there.
IPA is technically a style. Anyway, go ahead.
Eric Gilbert was saying, "Don't tell me what to do, Flying Monkeys." I'm assuming it's with regards to shaking the can or rolling.
Shake it, baby.
And then Basement Beer was telling Eric to shut up and drink those chunks.
Shake your moneymaker, baby.
Eric said, Troubadour Magma. Wait, that's a double. Okay. And then he said, those chunks equal a couple pit stops on the way to work. and then Basement Beer aptly replies with sparkle shats. So there we go. I'm pretty confident this isn't brewer's yeast, so I don't think we're going to be getting the yeast shits tomorrow. So I think we're fine.
Yeah. So just reading something I'll share later. All right, so I think we're pretty much close for the for done with the Sparklepuff. Has anybody asked the age-old question for?
No one's asked it yet, but maybe Joe. Maybe to earn your moniker, maybe you should ask
be called to truly be recognized the better Joe. He must ask the secret question.
Yeah.
The most sacred of all questions asked on Beer Analysis 101.
Joe, ask what next week's beer is.
Don't gotta figure it out on his own.
Well, while he types that,
he's new. He might not know yet.
Isn't it the ABV what makes a triple or an imperial? Yeah. So basically, the under BJCP, yes, by the alcohol by volume will sort of determine what it sort of fits in. I think what we were discussing was it's not just an imperial IPA; it's like a New England style imperial IPA, which as a standalone, it's not really a style.
Yeah.
Well, obviously it's a style that exists, but it's not something that's recognized if you were to go to a competition or something like that.
See, now I am getting the vegetable notes.
What is next week's beer? He says.
There we go.
He
All right,
and Eric.
Was it actually Eric? Sure.
Well, Eric said it first, probably. Well,
Even a lot of people ask. They all want to know, Nick.
Yeah,
Tell us all.
even now, Booze Reviews is in the chat, and he's saying penis. Oh, sorry. What's next week's beer?
Crazy.
You might want to whip out your penis for this one because we're going to take a look at Pale Ale.
Yes,
Greg's all excited. Still do it while it's still fresh. This is a Brute Pale Ale with this redhead on the can that Greg actually brought cans of us for all of us at the Well and Piss Up. So it's only been a month, so we might as well take a look at something from GLB for the first time, which I'm actually excited about.
Look at the size of this spider. Can you even see it? No, you can't
see anything.
Making it up.
Hopefully, he jumps on your
drop
face.
your phone off the balcony.
Gives you a bad bite.
No, you can't even see the fuck. Oh, he's hiding now.
Hey, Greg, let's look at
the cars.
Was Pale Ale last year a Brute Pale Ale, or was it just a regular Pale Ale?
It was a Brute Pale Ale.
It was a Brute Pale Ale last year. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. He's not big. What the fuck?
Yes,
that's not a big spider.
That's not a big spider at all, man.
A pretty big spider.
I've seen bigger.
No,
he's not trash.
So is your wife.
Look, he's that guy. Wow, that's rude. There's a regular sized spider over there. You can see that little dot right by the wall. And there's a big spider. He's a pretty big spider.
All right, so I think we're done here, and then
fuck with him.
All right, stop showing your spider. And we got one more comment to read there, but first I want to say thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks Ashley and Greg for coming on and being some of the loyal people, especially Greg being loyal, coming on every week, every
thanks,
week,
Nick.
like clockwork.
She's very loyal too. Don't sell him short.
Because I mean, this is an easy to get Ontario beer, yet only 2 people showed up.
Rude. You should all be ashamed of yourself.
Rude.
Especially you, Chris Lezak. You don't have that much hair to wash.
Anyway, go ahead and read the last comment.
So Eric Gilbert is taking a page out of Lee's book and is saying Chris Peters killed those women.